I think it qualifies to say that Egypt is a constitutional theocracy and it's not a modern state. The consequences were that Copts are no longer, according to Sharia law, identified or defined as citizen. I have an Egyptian passport, but I'm not a citizen. The concept of citizenship is a Western concept that does not apply to us in Egypt. I'm a woman and I'm Copt. I'm a fourth-class citizen in Egypt. The first-class citizen in Egypt is the Sunni male, Muslim male. The second class is the Sunni female. The third class is the Coptic male, and the fourth class is the Coptic female. And that's why none of the people that committed crimes, none of the criminals that committed crimes against Copts were prosecuted in any way because it is against Sharia law, and that's a fact, it's not an opinion, to persecute someone for a Muslim for killing, raping, torturing, or vandalizing the property of a non-Muslim or a dhimmi. So this is our legal status, and this has been happening under the Mubarak's so-called moderate regime, an ally of the West, and it's now happening now. It was only inevitable that they take their radicalism a step further and start killing Copts in the street in front of TV cameras with live ammunition and running them over with armored military vehicles they probably got from the United States of America. One of my friends was in the protest. I was supposed to go there on the 9th with him and with other people. What happened was my friend was there, Michael Mossad, with his fiancée Vivian, and they were walking. And he felt when the army started attacking the Maspero, and they saw them screaming Allahu Akbar, like they are going on an Islamic fath and an invasion, they got scared and they decided to leave. But he called his family and he told them, I'm going to die tonight, and I want to say goodbye because I'm going to get killed tonight. That's what happened to my friend. He got on the pavement and then they turned around to leave. But what happened was the armored vehicle got on the pavement to intentionally run him over. And they did run him over and almost severed his legs from his body and crushed his skull. And as Michael was lying there, breathless and dying, his fiancée kept screaming for help, asking someone to come and help him. Or what happened was the military started beating him up. They kept beating up his motionless body and beating her up and spitting on her and calling her an infidel and so much worse. At the same time, while this was happening, I was watching Egyptian television where a military official would say, would talk about the Copts, and he would say the Christian sons of dogs. We are, according to the state, the Christian sons of dogs. That's how the state defines us. And this is the current ally of the United States of America. So that's the situation, and that's what happened in Maspero. Busaina Kamel, a moderate Muslim and secular Muslim TV personality and journalist in Egypt, said that she was in Maspero, and I also know her. She was there, and as she got terrified of the attacks by the military, she went to hide inside the building of Al Hurra TV channel. What happened was, she said, the military started attacking the building while screaming Allahu Akbar, dragging Christians inside the building and beating them and torturing them. And then when she said the screams stopped and we felt we were safe to get out of the building, she said we were walking in blood of Copts, and to get out of the building alive or safe, you had to say, I'm a Muslim who believes in one Allah. That was a jihadist attack. This looks like a jihadist attack. It doesn't look like military trying to protect or stabilize a situation. That was religiously inspired. After that, also Nawara Nigm, she is a Muslim political activist and also a TV personality. She stated that she saw the military checking the hands of Copts for crosses before attacking and torturing them in the street. They kept around checking the hands of protesters because most Copts put crosses on their hands. And there are people in this room, there are Copts in this room with crosses in their hands who wouldn't have passed this test of the military. There's something that was also happening. This was the situation at Maspero, and it was even so much worse. If I had more time, I could even write a book from the amount of testimonies and my personal friends and my losses, my personal loss that day.
Cynthia, your testimony on your friend who was killed, I think you said run over by a tank, was quite moving. Did you say that they were beating him and his friend or girlfriend after they ran over him?
Yes, after they ran him over and he was lying on the ground motionless and barely breathing, they kept kicking his body and kicking his head after his skull was fractured, and they beat her up and slapped her and spit on her face and calling her an infidel. You're getting this for being here, you infidel. And they said so much horrible, so many more horrible things to her. But it was happening while they were saying Allahu Akbar as well, and that's why I say it's religiously motivated. It's politically motivated as well because, like my colleague said and Mr. Gindi said, Copts are a huge force for secularism, and they stand as an obstacle in front of the project of Islamic Khilafah and Islamic imperialism in the region, which obviously since Anwar Sadat, he has been a believer in this agenda. Mubarak was, and now SCAF.
If you were given an audience personally with Secretary Clinton or President Obama, what would you say to them? How would you appeal?
That they should stop supporting the Muslim Brotherhood. The founders of Hamas and Al-Qaeda are not moderate, and they should not be engaged in talks with them, any forms of talks. And I think that they should be on the list of the terrorist organization because they are an international organization that uses violent means to reach its aims. And I think it should be incriminated as an entity instead of opening talks with them and ignoring seculars and moderate forces in Egypt.
Thank you. Mr.